The movie starts with Yi Fun, a charming heir known for his reputation as a womanizer, constantly switching partners. When two of his ex-girlfriends meet at his apartment, Yi Fun stays calm as long as his belongings are not damaged. To escape the situation, he leaves the room and sees another woman by the window. This woman is Dae Fan Yu, another one of his past lovers. Yi Fun, curious about her innocent appearance, tries to talk to her, but she gets scared and runs away. Even though he doesn't recognize her, Yi Fun is instantly attracted to her. Luckily, his grandmother, Du Rushu, arrives and identifies the woman as Fan Yu, a distant relative from the northeast who will be staying at their large country house. After the introduction, Yi Fun apologizes to Fan Yu, who stays quiet. In the next scene, we meet Mo Ji-yu, a successful businesswoman in a field dominated by men. During a photo shoot for a magazine article praising her achievements, she sees news about her ex-boyfriend, the rich Jin Ji-yoon, who is now engaged to a much younger woman named Bebe. Ji-yu hides her emotions to keep her professional image and begins to plan her revenge against Ji-yoon. Her plan takes shape as she organizes a charity ball. The ball is a high society event at one of Yi Fun's exclusive clubs, meant to raise money for victims of the Japanese invasion in the Northeast. Despite the city's wealth, the streets are full of child refugees begging for money. For the guests, the event is not just about charity, but also a chance to show off their social status with fancy clothes, expensive items, or profitable marriage deals. Mrs. Zhu, Bebe's mother, proudly announces her daughter's engagement to Ji-yu and asks her to be Bebe's godmother, guiding her through married life. Ji-yu agrees, using this as part of her revenge plan, which involves getting Yi Fun to seduce Bebe. She knows that Ji-yoon insists on having a virgin bride, so if Yi Fun succeeds, it will humiliate Ji-yoon and give Ji-yu her victory. At first, Yi Fun is unsure about helping her, but takes time to think it over. Meanwhile, he watches Fan Yu from a distance. She seems comfortable on her own, but becomes tense when Yi Fun gets closer. Amused, he observes her as she places pastries on a plate and gives them to the beggars outside. When Fan Yu is called to the stage to give a speech, Yi Fun notices that she has a natural elegance, unlike the others who only pretend. Her calm beauty and grace show inner strength and dignity. After she sits down with his grandmother, Yi Fun asks her to dance, but she refuses, avoiding eye contact. Ji-yu steps in, making polite conversation and asking for the dance that Yi Fun had suggested. Fan Yu, smiling, agrees. On the dance floor, Yi Fun and Ji-yu seem to be enjoying a simple, innocent dance, but their relationship is more than just business. Yi Fun has always wanted to seduce Ji-yu, viewing it as a major achievement to add to his reputation as a playboy. However, Ji-yu stays out of his reach, rejecting all of Yi Fun's advances. This ongoing chase excites her more than actually giving in to him. Besides, she still needs his help with her plan involving her ex-boyfriend and Bebe. To her surprise, Yi Fun refuses her request, choosing instead to pursue Fan Yu, who he finds more attractive than Bebe because of her maturity. Ji-yu is shocked by this news. Her sources had told her that Fan Yu, who is recently widowed, wasn't Yi Fun's type. Yi Fun sees this as a challenge and makes a bet that if he can win Fan Yu over, Ji-yu will be his. Ji-yu, confident in her control of the situation, agrees to the bet. She knows she holds the advantage and plans to use it to her benefit. If Yi Fun manages to seduce both Bebe and Fan Yu, she will give herself to him. However, if he fails, he will owe her one of his valuable properties. Yi Fun is sure he will win, and so they make the deal. After the event, we see Bebe at home, taking her art lessons. Her mother has spoiled her so much that her innocence is often mistaken for charm. She is also strict about always having a nanny present to watch over Bebe. However, the nanny is sometimes busy with other things, allowing Bebe to develop feelings for her art teacher, Won-jo, without anyone noticing. Won-jo, a struggling art student who teaches as a side job, also has feelings for Bebe, but is aware of their different social statuses. As they play around at the end of the art class, Ji-yu arrives to visit her goddaughter and quickly senses the mutual feelings between them. Meanwhile, Yi Fun decides to spend a few days at his grandmother's country home. While Rushu, his grandmother, doesn't seem to care, Fan Yu is uneasy around him. She feels a strong attraction to Yi Fun, which shows in her behavior and reactions, something Yi Fun finds amusing. At one point, he bribes his servant to loosen a light bulb in Yu's room, then shows up to fix it. If she resists, he threatens to mention his mother's ghost, a trick that usually works with women like Yu. Reluctantly, she asks him to fix the bulb. As she holds the lamp up to help him, being so close to him becomes too much for her. When the light is fixed, she quickly retreats, struggling with her strong feelings for Yi Fun. A few days later, Jiyu and Yi Fun meet to share updates. Jiyu playfully teases Yi Fun by holding her cigarette close to his face to light hers with his flame. Yi Fun finds himself smiling. Jiyu's mysterious nature only makes her more attractive. She takes his smile as a compliment and explains that after being a widow for so long, she has been surrounded by men. To handle this, she has had to hide her feelings, pretending to be calm even when she is suffering inside. Yi Fun tells her that once she's his, she won't need to try so hard. Jiyu thinks he's just flattering her and doesn't believe he is serious. The next day, Mrs. Zhu asks Jiyu for help. She has found out that a young man is leading her daughter, Bebe, astray. As Bebe's godmother, Jiyu agrees to step in. She takes Bebe to a bridal gown fitting and allows Wonjo, the young man, to join them. However, Jiyu is secretly using this situation as part of her revenge plan. Bebe tries on the dress and twirls around for Jiyu and Wonjo. Wonjo is clearly captivated by her beauty. Jiyu mentions that Bebe is lucky to be engaged to Jin Jayun, making Wonjo feel embarrassed and humiliated. He quickly leaves, disappointing Bebe. In the dressing room, Jiyu comforts Bebe, who admits she loves Wonjo and doesn't want to marry the rich tycoon, a decision forced by her mother. Bebe's mother believes that wealth and security are more important than love. Jiyu warns her goddaughter that rich men often take advantage of innocent girls. She suggests that if Wonjo starts painting portraits of young women, he might become successful enough to marry Bebe. She convinces Bebe to pose for Wonjo, believing his paintings could soon make him rich. Jiyu's desire for revenge against her ex-boyfriend is so strong that she is willing to use innocent people as part of her plan. Her scheme to set up Bebe and Wonjo continues during an opera event. She invites Mrs. Zhu and Bebe, knowing that Mrs. Zhu is excited about the performance. In the audience are Yi Fun, Yu, and Rushu. Yi Fun is still chasing after Yu, who tries hard to ignore him. But it's uncertain how long Yu can keep pretending she isn't interested. During the show, Bebe complains of a stomachache. Jiyu and her nanny take her to a VIP suite Jiyu had reserved. She sends the nanny to get medicine from a faraway store. When the nanny is gone, Jiyu gives Bebe a key to another room where Wonjo is waiting. Bebe eagerly takes the key, undresses, and poses for him. Back in the theater, Jiyu is confident that Wonjo will be tempted by Bebe's innocent charm. Her only worry is that the performance might end too soon. Mrs. Zhu also wants to check on her daughter, but Jiyu manages to stop her. Luckily, a disruption happens when activists throw paper into the audience, giving Jiyu more time for her plan. From her spot on the balcony, Yu watches the chaos below. To her surprise, she recognizes one of the boys as a former student of her late husband. Wanting to help him escape the officers, she invites him to hide with her. At that moment, Yi Fun is busy getting drinks for the ladies and doesn't notice the commotion. But he quickly figures out what's going on. He pretends that the boy is one of his grandmother's servants, which successfully distracts the officers. After the officers leave, and the boy safely joins his grandmother at their car, Yi Fun grabs Yu by the arms and pulls her up. Seeing that she's sitting on some propaganda flyers thrown earlier, he playfully tosses the papers around, causing another distraction in the show, and leads Yu toward their escape. Meanwhile, Jiyu is sure that enough time has passed for Bebe and Wonjo to have gotten close. Bebe and her nanny return to their booth just as the show ends. However, when Jiyu checks with the maid she hired to watch them, she finds out that nothing inappropriate happened between the young couple. Wonjo simply painted a picture of Bebe. The next day, Mrs. Zhu finds out about the situation and takes away the sketchbook that Wonjo gave to Bebe. She carefully looks at the drawing of her daughter and scolds Wonjo for his low social status. Despite her harsh words, Wonjo keeps his dignity. Before leaving, he tells Mrs. Zhu that although his father is poor, he would never sell his children for money. This statement leaves Mrs. Zhu feeling deeply embarrassed. Meanwhile, Yifan continues to pursue Fan Yu, but sometimes he forgets his original intentions and really wants to get to know her. He finds out that she's writing a children's book and decides to add some details to the illustration of a train she drew. Later, he sees her relaxing by the pool, reading a book of poems written by her late husband. Whether out of jealousy or genuine concern, he throws the book into the pool, telling her to forget her deceased husband. After learning that she loves poetry, Yifan tries to write a poem for her. At first, Fan Yu returns the poem, but Yifan, determined, begins reading it out loud outside her room. He even plans to call his grandmother and the household staff to hear him read. Finally, Fan Yu opens the door and listens as he reads the poem, declaring his love. However, she grabs the letter and tears it up. Frustrated, Yifan grabs her hands and demands to know why she reacted so strongly. She explains that while it's fine for him to have such feelings, she knows he says the same things to every woman he meets. Offended, Yifan is still surprised by her reaction. Fan Yu insists that he should leave her alone. Yifan walks away, both surprised and amused by her emotional response. Despite this, he continues to write her letters, telling her how much he misses her. He meets Jiyu again, this time at her home. She's trying on dresses for a new order and asks Yifan for his opinion on the colors. Instead of commenting on the current colors, Yifan picks a pure white fabric, saying it suits her better. Although the tailor mentions that the fabric is out of stock, Yifan insists he's willing to wait. He confidently declares that by the time Jiyu's dress is finished and delivered, she will be his lover. Amused by his flattery, Jiyu laughs and playfully wishes him luck. The next morning, Mrs. Zhu meets with Jiyu to thank her for exposing her daughter's secret relationship with a poor art student, Wenzhou. Jiyu had only pretended to catch them in the act, knowing she could easily discard those who were no longer useful to her. Mrs. Zhu then asks if Jiyu knows a way to separate Beibei and Wenzhou. Jiyu suggests visiting Rushu's country house, but Mrs. Zhu refuses, worrying about the notorious playboy Yifan. Jiyu assures her that Yifan is currently in the city, so Beibei will be safe. Meanwhile, Yifan is indeed in the city and overhears the entire conversation between the two women. After Mrs. Zhu leaves, Yifan updates Jiyu on his progress with Fan Yu, admitting that he finds it difficult to understand her conservative nature. Jiyu teases him about falling for Fan Yu, but Yifan insists he will never do that. However, deep inside, he feels something starting to change. Jiyu then brings up Beibei and says there's a chance for Yifan to take Beibei's virginity. Wanting to impress Jiyu, Yifan reluctantly agrees. When Mrs. Zhu and Beibei arrive at the country house, Yifan takes the opportunity. With Wenzhou calling from Jiyu's office, they trick Beibei into Yifan's room. Wenzhou even asks Yifan to comfort Beibei for him, and Yifan does so. Afterward, Yifan calls Jiyu to take care of the situation. Jiyu enjoys having someone who can fulfill her wishes, no matter who gets hurt, as long as she is satisfied. Yifan, now more focused on Fan Yu, encounters a moment when she accidentally crosses his path. She quickly turns away, trying to avoid him, and makes up a story about a broken light bulb in her room. Yifan agrees to check it and finds out that the bulb is working fine. Curious, he opens her drawer and is surprised to find a piece of his first letter to her, carefully put back together with tape. This discovery is very different from how she acted before and gives him hope, showing that she shares his feelings. However, Fan Yu sees him and runs toward the greenhouse, leading to a short chase before Yifan catches up to her. He confronts her about why she won't admit her feelings. She almost gives in, but then pushes him away, though she doesn't leave right away. Yifan takes this as a sign of encouragement and leans in, gently brushing his lips against hers in a tentative kiss. At this crucial moment, he hesitates for reasons he doesn't understand. He leaves her trembling and confused. It has been a long time since Fan Yu felt such a kiss, and even this light touch awakens deep emotions within her. Conflicted, she retreats to a small, peaceful apartment to think about her feelings, only to find Yifan following her. He holds her and kisses her passionately, and they spend the next hour in each other's arms, lost in their passion. The next morning, Yi-fun storms into Ji-yu's house to claim his victory, but he notices a set of men's clothes on a chair, realizing Ji-yu is also involved with someone else. Despite this, he insists on seeing her, and Ji-yu agrees. He tells her that he has completed the challenge and almost confessed his love to Fan-yu. Ji-yu mocks him, doubting that Yi-fun could truly have real feelings. She decides to test him, feeling sure that he is still loyal to her. Ji-yu tells Yi-fun to break up with Fan-yu, believing that his feelings are just a passing crush. Annoyed by her manipulation, Yi-fun demands that she end her relationship with her lover if she wants him to leave Fan-yu. Ji-yu insists on being fair. Yi-fun must end things with Fan-yu, and she will end her affair. Yi-fun feels overwhelmed by his conflicting thoughts. Even though he tries to protect his heart, Fan-yu seems to break through his defenses easily. She calls him, saying she has made dumplings just for him. Even though he's not usually picky about food, he feels he must try Fan-yu's dumplings. He visits her apartment and enjoys a peaceful evening with her. During their time together, he confesses his love for her, and she admits she feels the same. Yi-fun realizes his confession is genuine, which only adds to his confusion as he struggles with his emotions. To figure out whether he still has feelings for Ji-yu or if they've changed to Fan-yu, Yi-fun barges into Ji-yu's house again, this time drunk. He demands what he believes is his, but Ji-yu scolds him. Undeterred, Yi-fun heads straight to Ji-yu's room, where he finds Won-jo, Ji-yu's new lover. Yi-fun is shocked, not expecting the art student to be involved with Ji-yu. As Won-jo leaves, Yi-fun collapses onto Ji-yu's bed. Ji-yu tries to comfort him, but her mood changes when she hears Yi-fun murmuring Fan-yu's name. Her anger flares as she realizes Yi-fun's feelings for Fan-yu are real. She starts to question her own importance to him, and whether his feelings for her were ever genuine. Ji-yu, who hates being controlled, demands to take charge of the situation. The next morning, Ji-yu instructs Yi-fun's servant to bring Fan-yu to her house, pretending it's for a meeting with Yi-fun. Eager and unaware, Fan-yu dresses up nicely, hoping to impress Yi-fun. Ji-yu greets her warmly, fully aware of her plan. She tells Fan-yu that Yi-fun is sleeping in her room and will be woken up soon. Fan-yu starts to feel something is wrong. Why would Yi-fun be in Ji-yu's room? Meanwhile, Ji-yu seductively wakes Yi-fun, telling him that Fan-yu has arrived. Yi-fun, determined to go through with his plan, looks at himself in the mirror and convinces himself that securing Ji-yu is the only way forward, even though he feels deep down that it's wrong. Adopting his playboy persona, he comes out to face Fan-yu. She rushes to embrace him, but he seizes the moment to deliver the painful news. He tells her to end their relationship, revealing that she was just part of a bet with Ji-yu. He claims he's tired of their relationship and doesn't want to see her anymore. Heartbroken, Fan-yu confronts Yi-fun, asking why he's acting this way after saying he loved her. Yi-fun stays silent and turns away, not wanting her to see his inner struggle. Crushed, Fan-yu feels her heart break and believes his cruel words. She tries to stay strong, remembering how her instincts warned her that he might hurt her. Determined, she leaves the house, feeling numb and empty. When Yi-fun goes into the bedroom, he finds Ji-yu standing in front of a mirror, wearing simple clothes similar to Fan-yu's style. In a fit of anger, Yi-fun grabs Ji-yu's arms and forces himself on her. He had won the bet and done what Ji-yu wanted, but instead of feeling like a winner, he feels defeated. To his shame, Ji-yu watches and mocks him, enjoying the fact that a quiet and ordinary woman like Fan-yu is making Yi-fun lose his reputation as a playboy. Feeling humiliated, Yi-fun demands to know why Ji-yu is doing this. Ji-yu explains that it's because he truly loves Fan-yu, and it hurts her that her once-desired lover has chosen someone else. Yi-fun insists that he won the bet, but Ji-yu argues that according to their deal, he has actually lost. Realizing he has been tricked, Yi-fun vows to get revenge on Ji-yu. Ji-yu, furious, is determined to prove him wrong and show that no one can defeat her. However, Ji-yu's next actions lead to her downfall. She meets with Won-jo and tells him that Yi-fun has dishonored Fan-yu. She urges Won-jo to get revenge by going to the businessman Jae-yoon. Won-jo agrees, and Jae-yoon, who is just as scheming as Ji-yu, orders Won-jo to take revenge himself. During a busy rally in the streets of Shanghai, Yifan rushes toward Fanyu, but Wonjo shoots him. Even though he is seriously injured, Yifan continues to Fanyu's apartment, desperate to see her one last time. He tells her that being with her made him truly happy for the first time. When she doesn't reply, Yifan smiles, understanding that this is just how Fanyu is. He turns to leave but collapses on the ground. At that moment, Fanyu comes out and finds Yifan dying. For him, seeing Fanyu in his final moments is a bittersweet fulfillment of his dream. Jiyu learns of Yifan's death and becomes disgusted with herself, seeing only the decay inside her when she looks in the mirror. She receives a white dress from Yifan, along with a note that says by the time the dress is finished, she will be his. This feels prophetic, as Jiyu realizes that she has lost the only real thing she ever had. In the end, Fanyu is the only one who wins in this complicated game of love. A year later, she returns to the Northeast to teach child refugees. She keeps the smoke from Yifan's added detail on her train drawing as a touching reminder of the love they once shared. So the moral of the story is, if you're going to gamble with love, be ready to lose more than just your heart. You might end up with a surprise art student in your bedroom and a one-way ticket to karma.